All right, we are on day 5, and welcome back. Again, it's Ariana with AR Product Academy, and the last day we are going to talk about designers and engineers for the Design Your Product mini course. And I know that we've went over a lot of information, and as I mentioned in the beginning, we're not going to be able to cover everything in such a short period of time because 5 days, depending on if you ever sleep, and even if you don't sleep, you're not going to be able to do all of the steps to get a product designed. And after you design it, you've got to manufacture it. So I'm very happy and proud of all of you for sticking with me and taking that step to not only getting your product on paper, but also going through and actually taking the steps to move forward. Not everybody does that. A lot of people have ideas, but not everybody actually goes through and physically works on it. So I think you deserve a round of applause. All right, so what is a designer? You've got an idea, but you're going to need it designed in order to take it to be able to get prototypes and manufacturers, because without all of that, you can't sell a product without it. So an industrial designer is someone who actually creates or improves products, and they will create concepts and prototype designs. Again, you're going to need all of that depending on your product to move forward. And then what's an engineer? An engineer is someone who designs products with specific measurements required. We're going to touch on that a little bit more. So do you need one or do you need both? Not all inventions require a designer or an engineer. They may require one, they may require both, they may require neither. So I had to actually, with my specific product for Bodacious Cases, having an iPhone case, I had to have both. I had to have a designer as well as an engineer. So the reasons why is I had my case designed on the iPhone 3, remember, and found out that it wasn't able to be manufactured. And that was simply because I didn't know everything that it took. So my mess up was I had the lack of knowledge and didn't know the proper steps, and the designer made the product beautiful, but it wasn't manufacturable. So it doesn't matter how beautiful or how great it looks if you can't actually take the next steps to manufacture it. So the designer didn't know, he knew how to design it and make it look pretty, but the problem was he didn't know the exact measurements needed to manufacture it like an engineer would. So I want you to understand that sometimes you'll need one, sometimes you'll need both. And that honestly depends on what your product is to be able to kind of know which you need. And where do you find them? So there's several places out there, but just a couple quick ones is Thomasnet. This is a website you can find anything related to specific industries. And there's one called Upwork, and this is a freelancer website. So on either of those, I want you to move forward cautiously, do your research, find out what types of products that they've made, and make sure that they don't have anything bad on the Better Business Bureau. So I want to stop, and always when you're working with other people, before your product is ready to be on the market for sale, you must have everybody along your journey sign an NDA, which is a confidentiality agreement. So the reason why is you want to protect your idea. I had everybody in my family, including my parents, sign a confidentiality agreement. And it wasn't because I thought that they would steal my idea, but because I have wonderful attorneys, they have engraved in my head certain things to not do or to do before I move forward. So I would never talk to somebody without having them sign a confidentiality agreement that I had my attorney write up. And also, a designer can't always do an engineer's job and vice versa. So I want you to keep that in mind if you need specific requirements, because you might need one or both for your product. So again, as we end this, you've got your idea down, you've done market research, you've learned about product designers, or I'm sorry, industrial designers and engineers. And now we've talked a little bit about NDAs. And not everybody can do one thing, but you always got to move forward and be careful with who you have involved, because some people may seem to have the best intentions in the world, but they may just see an opportunity for a great product. And unfortunately, the day and age that we live in, some people just want to steal ideas. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to try to help protect your idea, because nothing worse than having somebody contact me and say, hey, Ariana, I have an idea, and then they don't do anything, or they talk just to everybody, and then their product idea gets stolen because they didn't have an NDA signed. And I hate seeing or hearing about that. So I want you to be protected when you move forward. And before we end this, I'm going to hop over to the other screen and show you what you need to do on day 5 before we move forward. All right, so here are where you put your contacts in. So I want you to put the business name, their contact name, where they're at, what their position is, their email address, their phone number, if they have a website, which hopefully they do, and specific notes about them. I love talking to them. They were friendly. They were rude, whatever it is. And then what credibility do they have? And have they helped build products like what you're wanting to build? So these are just for miscellaneous contacts to keep track of. And I'm sure you'll need more than one page of this, because 4 contacts isn't very many, but that is definitely a start. So I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger here. Tomorrow, we are going to do Q&A and some other things to wrap up this week. But again, I am so proud of you, and hope even after this free mini training that you don't stop and just work hard. It's not easy bringing a product to market. It takes thousands of hours, potentially, not all the time, depending on the product. And it takes money. It takes getting shut down. It takes messing up. It takes so much. So just know going into this that there are people, there's a community, the AR Product Academy. We're here, my team and myself. I didn't bring my product to market alone. I had a wonderful team, and I messed up, and I don't want you to have to go through that same thing. So it literally can take one product to change the future of something. And if somebody has an idea, but they don't know the proper steps, then they either try and fail because of not knowing, and they don't have the funds to finish it. So that product never gets brought to market. Or they just don't ever move forward on bringing the product to market. So I don't want that to happen to you. I love product development. I love helping other people. So thank you, and finish everything. And I hope you'll join me in the AR Product Academy Facebook page and our group. We're on Instagram. Contact me if you need anything. And I appreciate your time. And I hope you have a bodacious day and continue to bring your product to market. Thanks.